Right. I was told by a source familiar with her thinking, Jake, I'm going to throw it back to you, that she is steeling herself for this moment where she is going to be presiding over her own loss. Thank you.
The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris. Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
A few moments later.
And it was about what should be the norm and what the American people should be able to take for granted, which is that one of the most important pillars of our democracy is that there will be a peaceful transfer of power. And today I did what I have done my entire career, which is take seriously the oath that I have taken many times to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, which included today performing my constitutional duties to ensure that the people of America, the voters of America, will have their votes counted, that those votes matter, and that they will determine then the outcome of an election. I do believe very strongly that America's democracy is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it.
Yes, we have to continue to cover the mainstream media can't even take it any longer. They can't even believe that this is happening, that this first black woman to lose an election and is the same person certifying it, certifying her loss. When I look at videos, now people are coming out to apologize after passing out false informations in the past, like Kamala will be president. I saw a lot of videos surfacing Libras melting down like she will continue to be president.
Like I've said, there has to be. Why would you work through Christmas? Why would you write a flurry of random executive orders? Like, none of it's making sense. Your intuition is telling you something for a reason. I'm going to hold out for a while because to me it just doesn't make any sense. I like when things make sense. I don't know, but I still don't believe that they just turn their backs. Some people are going to be like, they did fine. Great. What's your plan then? Like, none of this makes any sense. I'm sorry it doesn't, but it doesn't. It's not my fault. I'm going to go dig out a car or two and go get some dog food. Try to have a good rest of your day. Try to be level-headed. I don't know. I might make some more videos later. We'll see. We'll see how the vibes are. But just know, I don't know what else to say.
These people spend 3 weeks spreading info that Kamala will be president. She will not certify Trump win. Now, look at what they're saying. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what they were actually even thinking. Like, why will Kamala not certify? There is nothing here. Trump won in such a way that you cannot even argue. That was just it. Trump had the right to argue what he saw. There were abnormalities. Though these people did not give that room for Trump to argue that. Now, in this case, Trump won all the swing state. Tell me what you can argue in this election. There is nothing. So Kamala did what she should.
I mean, damn, guys, can't you just let January 6th go? No.
Always accepted the presidential election until
False.
4 years ago.
They have not. They have not.
No, Scott,
They have not.
Members of some of the Democratic Party, yes, I agree with that. But saying the party, I've never seen the Speaker or the leader of the Democrats of the House of Representatives object to a presidential election. There is a massive difference, and don't try to put these on the same thing. Look, I agree they shouldn't have done it, but to say it's the same as what happened in January 6th
you admit they objected.
I think, though, that this is why we are where we are in this country, is I think we're drawing false parallels to things that are happening in history. Look, in 2000, that was the first election. I was in Ohio, the place, the ground zero people were questioning. It was the first election I ever got to vote in. I was greatly disappointed, and I thought what happened in Florida with hanging chads was wrong. But I didn't storm the Capitol because I was an adult that accepted the results of the election and the will of the people, whether I thought that some things had gone a little awry. That's not what happened on January 6th, and I don't think it's fair to draw the parallels that it was. I also think that showing this is really important. I used to be a former school teacher, and I think that we are in a moment right now in our country where information is being disseminated in ways where we do sometimes draw false parallels. And so showing what actually happens, showing the checks and balances, and explaining why January 6th is not the same as when other times in history people have asked questions about the election is really important for this upcoming generation that may have questions about the fragility of our...
This is how the liberal media lost credibility. When Democrats do something, they don't consider it like anything. They will play around, and after a day or two, it goes away. They allow it to go. But when a Republican try it, the way they pick up their story, they will run it over and over. So to penetrate people's mind, this is it. We have cases where Democrats they refuse elections. Even this election, there are a lot of people that were not accepting anything, but they will never consider that. When there is, in fact, I don't want to even talk much on this because it is something that happens every time. The mainstream media will not call it out the way it's supposed to. Like, no, this is wrong, this is right. They don't do that. Tell me how people would trust you if you continue to play like this. We have seen cases. If I see someone, a journalist, telling me, oh, there are cases where Democrats refuse election result, I will start aligning with that person because it's the truth.
What do we do? I think we need to find moral clarity, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. Mm-hmm. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, we need to move on from January 6th. Mm-hmm. I say no. You don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
I just know in my mind that Sunny Hostin is not smart. She has never been a smart lady because if she was smart, you will not see her spill this. How can you compare January 6th to World War II or to Holocaust? Someone said, I don't know why the View is still on air because at a certain point, when you look at what these people spew on a daily basis, it is extremely concerning. I don't get the point why they continue to do this.
In light of all the rhetoric and things we're going to hear people say today, is that ultimately it was the American people that got to decide ultimately how we feel collectively as a country about January the 6th. And already today, we have heard some people in other venues say extraordinarily unhinged and vile things, comparing January 6th to the Holocaust, to slavery, to World War II. I think we need to arrange our feelings and control ourselves accordingly here and not go off the deep end. It was not a good day. Political violence cannot be condoned, but we can also be measured in how we view it in light of the rest of American and world history. What's happening today is ultimately a good thing because both parties, for the first time in my adult life, are accepting the results of an election. And that is ultimately putting this country on the right tracks. I just think people ought to really take stock of our feelings and not get out over our skis too much today and minimizing other world events. The debate continues.